Am I streaming? I'm going to assume that this is welcome to the inaugural broadcast of the TTAP live stream with Kelly. I'm your host. We got some people over here. This is Matthew Barron's up on the monitor. This is currently being digitized from the archive, and over to my other side, there we go. Over to my right is Hamish Wilson, and this is the latest video that I have on the Tooker Tapes Archive Project playlist here on YouTube. So the experiment here is I'm playing this playlist on the one screen with a little bit of volume. We'll see how awful this is all going to mix. On the other is being recorded. This is pretty dumb. So you can see it over my shoulder, but there's also a little tiny camera. Oh yeah, little tiny camera on my desk right here. I was shooting this screen, and then of course I got the screen over here from the camera that's playing the tape that's on this screen being shot on this camera, coming up through this screen and shown to you through this wonderful software. So cheers to Tooker. He was a great aficionado of all these wonderful technologies. In fact, this is Tooker is calling the mayor's office, I believe, right now. Trying. He's telling the story from the day prior.
Oh, hi. Who am I speaking to? Hi. It's Tooker, Aaron. It's Tooker Gomberg calling from TOTV. We're broadcasting live now, and I'm having a discussion here with Hamish Wilson about the Front Street extension. And I'm curious, I called the mayor's office to find out the mayor's position on this project. I know it's coming before council on Wednesday. Apparently it's time specific for 2 p.m. What's his position on this issue?
I can pass you through to Kristen Jenkins, our VP of Public Affairs, if you'd like.
Fantastic. Thanks. We're live on the net with TOTV.
Although, quite honestly, Tooker, I think an over-concentration of anything, including homeless shelters, can be deleterious for a neighborhood. So certainly there are some challenges.
I'll turn that back down a little bit. I didn't hit record on this tiny little camera. It goes off of standby. So this is why when Tooker was shooting this footage that you're looking at right here from the Tooker Tapes Archive Project, Tooker's using, I believe he's using this little Samsung camera that I have on my desk right now, and this is 22 years ago. And what he had to do is keep putting in a new tape. So he was recording his day, he was broadcasting live on the net, plus recording the tapes raw. He never even looked at these tapes, he never even rewound these tapes. These tapes weren't even labeled, and they weren't even all necessarily together. They were all in the same box, but scattered about. And I just got lucky at one part of the process here, digitizing some 600 tapes. I grabbed all these blank ones. I thought, well, let's go through these ones as I try and sort them into proper groupings around particular events and times of year and different themes and stuff like that.
Hi, this is Tooker Gomberg calling from TOTV. You can reach me at 416-532-3939. We're live on the air right now, and we're just trying to get a sense, and we've been bounced around quite a bit, a sense of the mayor's position on Front Street extension. I presume that he's going to vote against the funds going to the Front Street extension. Tell me if I'm wrong. I don't hear anything? Well, I presume from that that the mayor, in fact, is going to vote against the Front Street extension, unless we hear otherwise.
Well, I doubt
Thank you.
Wilson, thank you. Yeah. Well,
Such a kidder, that Tooker. Okay, where was I? Yeah, I found all these tapes in a group, or I grouped them all the blank ones, and then started playing them and realizing that they all span the day. So I should have 8 of them. I might be missing 1 or 2 of them yet. And it's throughout the day. You get to see the light temperature change, the sun move across the sky, people come and go live from the apartment. He makes tons and tons of calls throughout the day. In fact, he calls me once. This is actually the next video that's coming up, so depending on how long this particular live stream test from the Tooker Tapes Archive Project, we're calling this live stream number 1, November 11, 2025. if we get through the Hamish Wilson episode, where are we at there? Oh, we're already at 17 minutes. So there's a good chance that we're going to get to the point where Tooker calls me in Edmonton 22 years ago. It was really weird, totally weird. I can't explain to you how weird it is for me to watch myself get called. In fact, I wasn't even really paying that much close attention because a lot of the tapes, again, it was just Tooker sitting on his computer and he's doing his email throughout the day and you can hear some music play in the background. So I wasn't paying attention. I had my work monitor to my back, doing my thing over here, maybe editing some video, doing whatever, taking care of email, who knows. And all of a sudden I hear my voice from behind me. I'm like, what's going on? And I look back and there's, this conversation that Tooker has with me from his apartment to my apartment, some several thousand kilometers apart, which I don't even remember. And to find it is weird, and to watch it is weird. From the past, Tooker is also passed. Tooker passed away in 2004, so not long, like maybe 14 months after this.
You don't hear about this often, but you heard it first. Here on TOTV, we're talking about the stories. Important. Sorry to interrupt you.
He's really having fun jamming up the TOTV, making history. So this is before live streaming was even a word, before podcasting was a word. This is before the podcast was invented. No smartphones, no social media. Tooker was really pioneering. He was pioneering all this technology. Oh, that looks like Angela up there at this rally. How interesting is that? I think it might be Reclaim the Streets, if my notes are correct. It's a very striking white polka dot dress. And if I check the time code, August the 20th, 2001. That is being digitized and archived for the first time from the Tooker Tapes Archive Project. There are more than 600 hours of tape from and by Tooker is being preserved for, I want to say eternity, but in reality a little while longer than what the tapes themselves would sustain. These are the tapes. Mini DV, if you're not familiar. It was the industry standard for a good number of years. I got boxes, they're all over the place. I try and sort them into proper piles. I'm working off a couple of random ones at this point, so this is just a little bit of housekeeping. But it's always fun to come across these different actions that are happening, that they're both a part of and that they report on, and you get to see a lot of behind the scenes footage of the organizing and what goes into it. You see a lot of familiar faces from 25 years back, which is quite funny. So if you know anybody in Toronto, tell them to tune into the live stream, the inaugural live stream featuring TOTV and the Tooker Tapes Archive Project. There's my man, TOTV. He's broadcasting live at that point in time. He's one of the first people in the world. This might actually be the very, very first live television show from downtown Toronto, Havelock Street headquarters, Tooker Gomberg.
Or the North Pole. It would actually be warm. So this is a subjective response. And maybe you can comment a little bit for me about your feelings on long underwear.
Well, it's very true, Tooker, that
Did he just ask him about his feelings on long underwear?
relatively spoiled here in Toronto in the last few winters, in that we haven't had much snow and we haven't had a lot of relative cold. It's been cool, but not cold. Yeah, it has been. Even I, biking around sometimes, and go, no, this is not really fun. I need better gloves.
So we're talking about gloves, not about cold.
Yeah, well, layering up, as you have mentioned, that's part of the package, is making sure that you're layered. Which
Well,
is
we
sometimes
encourage
easier
people
said
who are viewing, that's from Hamish, go get laid. Or did you say layered? Layered. Go get layered.
Yes.
And is there anything else? What were we talking about? Where were we?
Weather. You wanted an update on the weather. So actually, it's relatively mild at the moment.
Hey, so funny, that guy. All day long. So he's getting ready for a live stream. He's connecting with the University of Lethbridge and Professor Anthony Hall, who does a regular series. It's the first certified university course interactive on the internet
Chillier, colder
ever in the world.
type of winter
It's called Globalization Studies, and Tooker has connected with it.
How do you feel about helicopters?
Tooker has connected with it a couple times. One live from New York City, and it absolutely blew the minds
Chief wants to get
of the
a
staff and
helicopter
students at the University
so
of
that he
Lethbridge.
can, get around
And the other time was live from his apartment,
It's been a big fight.
Havelock Street headquarters, when he interviewed Richard Swift, editor of the New Internationalist. That's another video in our series. See if I can scroll through. Will it let me while we watch? Oh yeah. You can't actually see this part of the screen, but you can see my mouse over on this part of the screen. But the side with the playlist that I'm scrolling through is not visible to you. And oh, that's really cool. Is this the inaugural live stream for this project? It's pretty much my inaugural live stream as well. I'm not really a live streamer until today, but I feel like I'm kind of pushed into it, kind of shamed into it by Tooker. Oh, there's Angie again. He's going live. He's broadcasting live to an audience. He says the whole world is watching. That's his slogan. Very funny. However,
You're tuned into TOTV Live on the internet.
there you go.
And the whole world is watching. We're here with Hamish Wilson, noted eco-activist and agitator in Toronto, one of the heroes, the green heroes of this city. Hamish, thanks for dropping by. Do come by again.
Well, thank you for being here, Tooker.
Okay. And now we're back to our regular
Oh,
programming.
wow, there's some crazy action going on up in the streets there.
What might that have, Tooker?
Oh, he's calling me. Wonder how much you can hear of that in the background. Whose streets? Our streets. I think that's Matthew Barron's. Yeah.
Kelly.
Oh,
I should warn you right off the bat that we are now live on the net, live from our beautiful downtown studios in downtown Toronto, the Havelock Studios of TOTV.
okay, I'm going to
Kelly
break the
Reinhart
space-time
in
continuum.
Edmonton, that's in Alberta, Canada.
It's me, here we
Say
go.
hello to our viewers.
Hello, viewers. I'm glad you called. It's wonderful to hear from you.
Now, you know TOTV, we've come up with our new slogan, the whole world is watching, comma, almost.
How about something like television for people who give a shit?
Okay, well,
So fun.
I should also
So
tell you
fun.
that we're watching you,
Nope.
and that's a nice
There
shirt
goes
you
Matthew
have on.
Barron's again. Hang on.
Great.
Where'd you get it?
Which shirt?
The shirt you're wearing. We're watching you.
Yeah?
Yeah, so I was wondering if you could do the fashion report.
I'm wearing a robe right now.
Yeah. Oh, bro, shit. I must be looking at another Kelly. Is this Kelly Stevens in Edmonton?
Sure.
So, what's the fashion in Edmonton these days? I hear it's pretty cold out. People say cold out, whatever that means. Are people using long underwear a lot and wool socks, or are they sitting?
And so his whole stick, he kept trying to get people to do different aspects of his little television station as he snickers to himself. a fashion report, a NASDAQ report, a weather report, as you saw from Hamish. And his other ongoing shtick throughout the day is he'd be like, "Hey, nice shirt. You know, we're looking at you. We're watching you right now." People be like, what are you talking about?" So he would pretend to his viewers that he could also see the people that are calling in. Very meta. Very funny, very meta. So yeah, he's got me doing sports report. I think we just had the Grey Cup a couple of months prior in Edmonton. In fact, took her 2 months prior to him shooting this video in his apartment in Toronto. He was in Edmonton, where I am currently shooting this live stream, and he was on the Lost Document tour. I slept out with him one night on the steps of the Alberta legislature. He stayed like 8 or 9 days or something on the Alberta legislature steps to bring attention to the Lost Document, which proved it was a document produced by the Alberta government itself, the ruling government since 1972, 71, the Conservatives, that we could, as a province, reduce our emissions and make money doing it. Okay, hang on, someone's coming in the house.
See if it works. We're trying to figure out if there are more than 4 people who can watch us at the same time.
Okay, we're free at totv.ca.
www.totv.ca. Apparently there's a herd of, if you call them a herd of penguins in Antarctica that are watching the show through the window of one of the trailers.
That's hilarious. Oh, no, I don't get anything.
What happens?
No TOTV.
What happens?
I don't know. It took me to a page cannot be displayed, and then 142.66.34.5.
Okay, try this. Globalizationstudies.org with a Z. Globalization with a Z. Studies.org.
Okay, that's a bigger word now.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's too many syllables. I mean, people have trouble with typing and stuff.
Globalization studies?
Studies, yeah. That's what Tony Hall is doing down in Lethbridge. He's the founder of Globalization Studies department, the first one in the world, as far as we know.
Studies. We got there's all kinds of things here, but nothing looks like it's online right away.
Well, look at the list, because I think somewhere in there it says, click here to watch the class.
Globalization.
No, huh? Okay, well, please stand by. We seem to be experiencing technical difficulties.
Okay. Browser profile offerings. No, nothing. Nothing doing.
Well.
Streaming video. Wait. Watch the streaming video. Okay, I got something here. Using QuickTime. Oh no, it's just a link sending me to Apple to.
Yeah, but right next to that.
Right next to that, watch. Hey, there we go. Watch the streaming video.
Watch? Yeah, really.
Very well highlighted. It's hard to tell that it's a highlighted.
Yeah, I know. It's not laid out very well.
5 class, 6 to 8 p.m. Yeah, nothing here.
Well, try it. Can you click it? There nothing happens?
Takes me back there. Just wanting me to download QuickTime.
Do you have QuickTime?
No.
Oh. Wow. What do you ever watch TV on your computer?
Not since we got the new monitor without speakers.
Oh. Okay.
I'm a little bit lame.
Yeah. All right, because we're still trying to work out the bugs. What happened yesterday was I did the first live broadcast from City Hall.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I
Turn that
cycled
back
down there
up.
with my TV station in a knapsack
And
and
turn this
parked my bike. Went upstairs with the, it's just power book.
back down a little bit. As Tooker talks about his inaugural broadcast from City Hall and getting unplugged from the phone line by the Globe and Mail, who took dibs over their spot. He got in a little bit of a confrontation with them. That's pretty funny. I found that raw footage the other day. So much stuff to share. Oh my gosh, it's going to be an excellent film one of these days. Finding this stuff is just amazing. Like, that was really classic Matthew Barron's arrest footage, and he's so well spoken and so on point with the issues. Absolutely incredible. Some of the stuff I've been doing with this archive footage as I capture it is identifying the people that we know in the footage, parsing out the sections that feature them or are most relevant to them, and then getting it to them, either through a private YouTube video or just set it aside, put it in a file folder. I'm gonna have to get a whole crap ton of thumb drives for folks and put stuff on it. This stuff was done out in public, so I don't feel bad about just showing stuff random. People are going to show up and stuff like that. But some of the tapes definitely wouldn't be suitable for broadcast on the live stream here, especially the behind-the-scenes stuff. You know, we're going to see people and people's kids and things like that, so we don't want to get into that. I just need to make sure that when I'm doing the live stream and we're uploading and digitizing what we have going on the computer back here, that we're not doing anything inappropriate for you, the viewer, there. It's hard for me to keep track on everything that's going on with Tucker over here. This is a videotape, and from that videotape he's live streaming out. But we're also watching on this live stream a videotape that Tucker made himself. So this is footage of his that's showing above me on the own screen and also behind me on this screen, originating from there. You can see the little glow, little light from that little screen, little camera dock over there, but actually being shot on this camera right here. Can you see that camera? Can you? How about if I go like this and show you my camera? There we go. So that's the camera. It's on my desk, and the other monitor up past my little laptop there. So I think I'm going crazy with all the different screens and portals into different views of things and stuff. It's crazy making, I tell you. I don't know what I'm doing. Ooh, wow. Look at this. Well, that's kind of a lame way to show it. Wow. Oh, that's pretty cool. Northern Lights pictures freshly sent to my sister from her daughter. Very cool. Very, very cool. And seriously, let's see if we can get this properly up on the screen.
You know what they're doing for me now? Oh, you're talking about Starbucks. Hey, okay, so here's what happened. Okay, once I established that I could do it, Wednesday I showed up.
Wow.
While Tony was doing his class, last week, 6 to 9 p.m. last week.
Pretty wild stuff.
At 8:30.
What I need to be doing, oops, blocking here, space there. What I need to be doing is on this monitor here. We don't need Tucker playing over there so much anymore. I can switch. Oop. That was an act of faith. Is what going out to you. I need a That's my monitor in behind. I need a third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh monitor. Because I shrink this streaming software, the OBS, I can no longer monitor what it is that I'm seeing. The background of what I'm seeing where this mouse is on my large primary monitor. And on my secondary monitor, which the OBS was on, I'm now looking at my desktop on my open tabs, which I'm hoping that you can't see. I'm pretty confident that that's the case. And my output to the OBS, I guess I'll be reviewing this video later, and hopefully nothing really messed up shows. I can also go into the OBS and show you my desktop as a different thing. So let's do that as something of an experiment. Let's bring up the Windy. Oh, Keith Stewart. Sorry. Over a little bit. Change my setup so I don't get in the way of your viewing pleasure up there. Doesn't help today. That sounded a little bit better. Not bad. Using a tiny little
and I zoom in, and there's two of New York's finest there. And they're loving it in Lethbridge, I'm told afterwards.
It's a funny story.
Cops come up to me and they explain to me, and I leave the camera on for 10 seconds, so, and then I turn it off and I say, look, how about this? I finish my coffee, and I leave. No more broadcast.
Okay, you enjoy this story. I am going to load another tape.
But it's,
Sounds like fun.
yeah, it's fun. It's also, it's kind of historic, because what I see happening is the crumbling of the television monopolies right before our eyes. Because now I'm in the same club with TOTV as ABC and CBS and NBC.
I always give a quick
I mean, they're a lot
glance
smaller,
after I
but
do the recording,
smaller
just
too.
to, I always give a quick
Yeah,
glance
you got the shit
at the
going on.
recording,
That's pretty sweet. When are you going to be down in Lethbridge?
just to make sure that my audio
Oh
stuck.
shit, man!
Sometimes that
things
doesn't work.
keep changing because I don't know. There's the elections
there.
in Toronto that are unfolding in interesting ways. Right, the elections are in November. Can you believe it's 3 years in November? Holy shit! And Jack got elected.
Yeah, so I hear.
Yeah.
He's going to Ottawa soon, probably.
No, he's already in Ottawa. He's in Ottawa Monday morning. Boom.
Cool.
He resigned. So now the seat is vacant.
Call this RTS, reclaim the
It
seat.
counts.
They got to do a run-up or what?
Well, I just found out on Monday that council is going to choose somebody.
August.
Wednesday, January 29th, 2003. You're watching TOTV live. Right.
Matthew.
Drop us an email and say hello.
Excellent.
Please, we are anxiously awaiting your call.
Folder.
TOTV live.
From my next
We're
tape.
broadcasting
One
live
tape.
from
This
Toronto.
one.
Toronto. Is there anybody out there?
Mass? Is this critical mass, perhaps? That might be fitting. Critical mass.
This just in from Melvin Little with the Socialist Party in North Carolina, I believe. That's Melvin Little. Hello, Melvin. Nice to hear from you.
That was-
Yes, we'll get you a copy of that video, that interview that we did with you. That was terrific. Nice to hear from you. You're tuned to TOTV. The whole world is watching.
He's good at that. He's natural. Having fun. You see the light change throughout the day. It's also interesting.
TOTV live. The whole world is
Oh,
watching.
this was a little.
Well, maybe not the whole world.
This is the third one now in my series, which is called at TOTV. The whole world's watching.
Studios in downtown Toronto on Havelock Street.
This little mashup. I break some copyright with the music playing in the background,
Plans and tunes for us. Please,
and he's commenting on that. It's in the background. It's on low. This next is going in mass from June 10th,
live.
3. Looks like 0303.
Maybe not the whole world.
So,
People in the world are
let's see. Don't need that piece of paper anymore.
out there. Please,
Here is the little
a phone call
camera deck
or an email. Drop
that I have. Let's bring that in.
web.ca.
You
That's
see it?
TOOKER
Pops open.
.ca.
Zoop.
We'd love to hear from you.
Put that over here.
About
This one in.
Good. How's it going? We're broadcasting live on TOTV. Yeah, be careful what you say. And what you do. I like your shirt today. Yeah. Well, I can see it. We have a camera on you right now. Yeah, we're watching you. We're having this interactive discussion. You're in Lethbridge. I'm in Toronto. And people are watching in, apparently in Turkey.
Yeah, that tape was not rewound and also not protected, so that makes me also think that it was shot and looked at. So this will be never, ever, ever scene footage by both of us. So this is quite exciting and quite daring. Let's hope we don't get into trouble. Movement about my apartment studio. So I have to be conscious and cognizant about preserving the integrity, etc. I gotta figure out for my first time using this Samsung camera. I don't like the display. I gotta bust into figuring out how to take that display off. It does have a little light. Let's see. Turn that on. Oh, that's not it. I can't. Well, very interesting that David is now on the phone. This is a beautiful part.
Hello world. Please, please, piece by piece we can find the peace inside and without pain or fear. Well, there's always pain, but feel the fear and do it anyway. How's that? Signing off from TOTV.
David Rubinoff is sadly not with us anymore either. That tape is done. Capture. So very cool. The software controls the tape deck.
Are you coming by?
Tape's playing.
But I will only give
Blank screen. Lens cap must be on. Let's turn Tooker down over here. He's getting a little loud. His friend Dave. Nothing happening on this tape. 165. I'm gonna call this one 166. What I got is a lot of extra stickers. Okay, we got some action. What is happening? Somebody's feet. I don't have a timestamp on this tape, unfortunately. Some tapes do, and some tapes don't. This room looks familiar. Yes, I've seen this hall before. I recognize the curved arches. I can't quite remember what the event was.
Down there for the start, timer countdown on that. On the screen behind me, I've got some footage. You probably recognize it from Times Square, New York City. This is 2003. We're featuring New York City today in celebration of Mayor Danny's electoral win, becoming the mayor of New York City yesterday. That's quite exciting.
Uh-oh.
Booker would have certainly approved
There we go.
such a choice.
Yes, looks familiar. I've seen this on a couple of other tapes. Oh, this is fun. This is fun. So I'm doing an intro to another Tucker Tapes video, and in the background is playing even different archive footage. This looks like, I think, Times Square, New York City or something like that. Crazy. Too many screens, different loops of time, videos going on. New York, me times 2, Tucker times 2, in Toronto. I'm all scruffy and gross, and my hair is getting annoying. The cat is getting excited about something. Okay, so anyways, I wanted to, we're okay with that. We're okay with that. I was going to turn that up a little bit. I am going to
it spans the whole thing, and we've got a lot of really amazing content with regards to that. Is there value to this footage for you generally out there, or academically, or in city archives, or government archives, or by peace groups, or environmental organizations? Let me know. What do you think?
So it turns out that Tucker appears to be, he got in crap for videotaping the meeting, and now he's confronting people out in the hallway and asking them how they feel about the prohibition on the videotaping of the meeting.
You get the drill. It is a project of love.
Do you support prohibition on the videotaping of the meeting?
However, the funding is
Uh,
not enough. It's going to run out this week.
Funny.
And we're going to need more help to get on board.
How do you feel about the prohibition on the videotaping of the meeting? It's like a dog on a bone, that kid sometimes. I tell ya. Oh, I gotta fix my hair, get a fucking hat or something. Oh, he's finally getting comment. This is cool.
New York City, go New York. That's pretty awesome. Enjoy this footage.
Turn this up for you at least.
2003. Oh, and do me a favor, if you know any of these people, like that first guy you're going to see here coming up in a second, Jeff something or other, get in touch with them. Say, hey man, you're on this video from like 2003. You should check that out. And share it with your friends in New York City, anyone of faith, anyone belonging to any one of the churches. You'll see these pastors and priests and ministers that are leading them. Please do let those folks know. All right, guys, thanks for tuning into the Tucker Tapes Archive Project for November the 5th, 2025. I am Kelly Green. That's obviously the Empire State Building, and you're about to see some never-before-seen footage from Tucker Gomberg from the inside of a paddy wagon. Okay, enjoy.
I'm here
Oh, yeah,
to
this is
protest
great.
the war in Iraq and the U.S. insistence on going into everyone else's business around the country and raining terror upon the civilians of the world. So I stand here to get arrested in solidarity with the people of the world and with solidarity with the people of faith who are actually many are stepping out of their communities when told not to stand up against the war.
What's your name?
Jeff Romansky.
I think this is the best thing to do today.
Why? We have to voice our displeasure with our government. I can't think of a better place to do it or at a better time than Human Rights Day.
What's your name?
Dr. Marvin Wolfman.
Get off the wall. Get off the wall, sir.
Journalist, can I take
Get off the wall, sir.
Can I take a shot?
Get off the wall, sir. We don't want you to. Let's go.
Thank you.
I'm a Roman Catholic priest protesting this escalation towards a war in Iraq. Father Francis Gargani.
Can you tell me why you're here today?
Yes, I think the United States is committing a war against humanity, and I don't want my country to do that.
That's really good footage from New York City with Tucker Gomberg. Went down to an all-faith rally to stop the war, and a lot of these folks have been arrested previously. I don't know if you just saw the piece or if it's coming up yet, of the police officer mentioning to one of the gentlemen that he arrested him before. They're all going to end up in the back of a paddy wagon shortly, and the interesting part is Tucker's going to have his camera with him, even all the way into booking at the police station, which is kind of interesting. All kinds of fun stuff in the Tucker Tapes Archive project that might make a good movie or three someday down the line. I don't know what to look at, what I made, what I'm making behind me. At least with this display right there, can you guys see that? Oh, probably not. You can see that mouse, I'm assuming. Oh, this mouse. You can see this mouse. Took a project, but not when I go over to my other screen. I don't see that mouse, that's fine. The display timer that you can see on the screen above me, SP Record, is handy because it gives me an opportunity to monitor how much time I need to throw in another blank tape, thankfully. Or kind of buried underneath there. I got several blank tapes that came with the Tucker Tapes Archive collection, so and I'll be able to just reuse them. I'm not going to save these for posterity purposes that Tucker did. Can you imagine somebody in the future, like 22 years from now, a friend of mine or my kid or who knows who, going through this stuff and trying to make sense out of this tape with everything that's going on and all the different screens and inputs and content? It's maddening. It looks like on Tucker's archive tape, volume 166, we have, oh, that's University of Toronto, perfect. We have a lot of stills. So on this camera, he had the opportunity to take a still picture with it, and it would, you could hear the audio that was going, would just hold on that one frame. It's an interesting feature, but not really that practical. Like you could just stop the video at any time and take a still frame from that, I suppose. Hang on, I gotta write that down. It's been 75 years. Fighting for access. I don't really understand this campaign. Tucker certainly needed to clean his lens a little bit, or what? What I wanted to do, what I want to keep. Oh yeah, we're going to go back and we're going to do a little experiment, and I'm going to cut away from let's get back here. I'm going to cut away from the monitor of the gentleman about to get arrested quickly, and let's see if I can change that on the fly. Oh yeah, and I will go to Windy. But this is the loop. There we go. So I'm sure you can see this now. We get a roughly live look at what is happening in my part of the world. Zoom in a little bit. This is where I am roughly. We are above 0 for sure, and that correlates with the temperature of my degree. Rain and thunder? Nada. Ooh, looks stormy. Stormy over Newfoundland. You probably can't see that. Let me just check. Yeah. I wonder what you're... Are you seeing this? I don't know. If you are seeing this, my picture's here, your picture's, or that other picture is up here. That street scene in Toronto. I wanted to show you this big storm that's happening over Newfoundland. That doesn't look good. Let's play it through and see what's up for them tonight. Well, it's going to pass quick, but look like they got dumped on pretty heavy. Sucks to be them, I guess. Okay, actually I'm going to go back. I don't like not being able to monitor what it is I'm doing, so I'm going to change my monitor back to this monitor, and we'll see what those gentlemen are doing, and I'm going to check in what's happening on the streets. That's what's car got caught up in some kind of I think you asked him what he thought of free public transportation. Quick little debate about air pollution. Could public transportation be improved? Of course it could. Good fun, good fun. Hang on, let me kill the primary.
Reverend Herbert D as in David, A-U-G-H-T-R-Y.
And where are you, Reverend?
Brooklyn, the House of the Lord Church.
Sir, you got press credentials?
Yeah.
Can I see them, please?
There you go. Okay, we're rolling that.
So we're inside the police vehicle here. Smile. You're on camera. How do you feel? How's it going in here, folks? You're on camera. What do you think? We all care.
We're going to be together for a while, so we got to be pleasant to one another.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, if you release my handcuffs, I'd play you some harmonica.
Gonna lay down burden down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. 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 Ain't gonna study war no more.
My sword and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside, way down the riverside. Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, down by war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study. Can I get somebody's finger again? If you see that button there, see the red button?
Yep. And about an inch closer to
Much
you,
better at this than I am.
there's a slide button up and down. Exact. Now, no, back. There you go. Step right inside. Ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. Excuse me, officer. Would you do me a favor? My pack is falling off my shoulders. Would you mind putting that back up? Thank you. That's a big help. Terrific. And now, could you take off the handcuffs, please? No. Oh, well, it's worth a try.
Over here, just stand across the wall.
I'm a Louis guy.
Yeah, okay.
Am I with you?
Yes, sir. Just stand in here for a
I'm a
while.
journalist.
Okay.
I'm a journalist. I just want you to know that,
I
Officer Louis.
understand, I understand. The only reason why is because you failed to obey an order and when you're standing in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's all.
I
It's
just
be a
want you to know
summons.
that I'm a journalist, just so
It's
you're
a summons.
aware of that.
You have an identification.
Oh, yeah, I do, of course.
Stand over here.
Sure. Yeah.
They're all going to go through the restroom back here.
Officer McCann, can I speak with you?
Just the cameras.
Sir? Sir?
He's going to have to take possession of that until...
I'm a journalist, and I've informed the...
Sorry?
I'm a journalist.
Okay.
And I've informed the arresting officer that I was prepared to leave when they asked me to leave, and I did leave. And I don't think they have any authority to be arresting me.
Okay, you're going to have to take that up with the inspector when he gets in because he was on the scene and he ordered all these arrests. So right now, but as far as your camera, we're going to have to take possession of that while you're in the cell. Okay, we're going to hold on to that.
Oh, I can't
Okay, and then
be
when
in
you
the cell
leave,
with
we're going to give it back to you. Yeah, but you can't have that in the cell. Not in the precinct arrest room. You'll get it right back. You know, you just can't have it in the cell area.
I'd like to have it with me.
Not with you. You can't have it with you.
Because maybe I
When
could
you
do some
leave here,
interviews.
you're gonna
I
get
could
it
do
back.
some interviews with people while I'm in the cell.
Sorry?
Maybe I could do some interviews
No,
with
that's
people
not
in
what
the
we
cell.
do in a police facility. We don't allow any cameras in a police facility. That's
Really?
the rules. All right? If you see anybody else coming in with the cameras, just matter of fact, get that off him now. Are you staying here with these?
Yeah, well, I guess we're all staying here.
Somebody's got to stay here with these. All right, let's get them in.
Okay, well, I'll turn my volume back up.
It's just bad form to be arresting a journalist.
Also still able to
It wasn't your decision.
hear Tooker a little bit in the background on this table. Turn that down a little bit more. He's in the, hey, but I'm making my very first live stream. I'm a live streamer now. And nobody is watching. I had one person watching, I think it was when I checked. So, welcome, self. That's not weird at all. So, this is Tooker shooting the floor inside the police station. They're about to confiscate his camera before putting him in a little lockup. Interesting that he was able to get as much footage and audio that he did have from the back of the paddy wagon, a little song, and then a little bit of banter with the police. You're not ever going to see footage like that anywhere else, I tell you. Meanwhile, it's just me. It's just me looking at it. Nobody's ever seen it before. You're not even going to watch it. I made a video about it. I put this on the channel. I mean, what, like, a dozen people watched, New York City Faith Leaders. I think like 4 people watched that video. I mean, it's Tooker's fault. He's making some pretty damn good content over there. Unfortunately, he passed away right before. Oh, there's Richard. Right before YouTube was invented. I gotta get better lighting for my little thingamadoobie. I'm trying to work on that for a sec. Turn this up. Enjoy the show.
Broadcast, webcast, live stream, if you will, from Lethbridge, featuring Tony Hall and his course, Globalization Studies. As they connect, you can see on the monitor here, as they connect from his downtown Toronto, it's going live out of Lethbridge, it's going live out of Toronto on Tooker's TOTV. So we've got 2 live webcasts connecting together. It's like a Zoom call, but it's 2023. Very, very cool. So we meet Richard Swift. He is the editor of the New Internationalist magazine. He lays out the role of independent media in the new millennium. It's quite interesting. It's a bit of a historical piece. It gives some good perspective where we were 22 years ago. and it shows the success and the early pioneering work of folks like Tucker Gomberg and Professor Anthony Hall in their efforts to democratize media, if you will, and to really bring things forward to people in a way that they can interact with. So that's my little preamble for the clip itself. Now for a little bit of housekeeping. I hope that you have liked this video, or write a comment down below. Subscribe, hit the bell so you get the notifications. It helps me out the most, lift up my spirits that people are actually interested in this content. And of course, it's going to help the channel grow and boost the algorithms and whatnot. Tucker hamming it up a little bit behind the scenes. We have his friend David Rubinoff on camera. We've got the still camera going. His laptop there is running and connected, and Richard Swift in the background waiting for his interview. It's all very, very, very exciting. So the Tucker Tapes archive is 600 tapes. This is from tape 120. So I'm basically 20% through the entire stack. It's week number 7 now. We're going to need many, many more weeks to get through this. Just the archiving and the rough logging and pulling out the clips, getting them to various folks like Richard or Anthony Hall, the professor, or maybe you've received some of these clips, many of his friends. I've cut clips out and sent to them. I've pulled out clips from Elizabeth May. I've got other notables such as David Suzuki, the late Jack Layton. All kinds of folks are showing up in these Tucker tapes. Very, very exciting. But we need your help. We need you to buy me a coffee and keep my day-to-day thing going if you want to tip me out for this work. And stay tuned for a fundraiser for a charity that we can plug in some big dollars into and keep this thing going, keep the job alive, keep me working.
I can't believe that's the Kensington drum troupe that I saw. I got a video on here in the playlist. The Kensington drummers. Tucker hamming it up over there. Yeah, that guy. Holy shit, these guys are really good. So you can't hear that probably very well. I was going to check out just generally how this sounds. Probably sounds like crap. Bleed through from the main show over there. This is playing in the background, get picked up by the camera speaker. Video capture device primary. Video capture device 2 secondary. Mic auxiliary. I could plug in my mic. I'm running out of USB plugs. I can unplug my little accent light in the back, I suppose. Plug in my microphone. I have to try that. This is freaking great footage, man.
And of course we've got cities Edmonton, Toronto, Montreal, Quebec City, Halifax, European cities, New York, Washington, San Francisco, a number of different places whose local archives might be very interested in seeing this material as well.
I love that guy.
Help us out.
The drum leader guy.
Send money. Share the stuff. Leave a comment.
No date. No date.
We're not alone here in this heavy laden project. Okay, guys, peace out. Here's the clip coming up right away where Richard is going to talk about the purpose of new media. Hope you enjoy it.
It's open because it's on the World Wide Web. Many universities have had distance learning, and this room is set up for teleconference. But the thinking has been, we need to keep this knowledge in a container, because after all, universities are selling things. There is a business dimension to universities. So if we just let it out, how can we sell it? Well, we're letting it out. So it's open. It's interactive.
We're back again, and I'm Tucker Gomberg, and we're broadcasting live from Toronto with TOTV.ca in conjunction with the University of Lethbridge. And I'm very happy to have in our living room studio with me Richard Swift, one of the editors of the New Internationalist magazine. Welcome, Richard.
Thank you, Tucker. Glad to be here.
Tell me a little bit about the New Internationalist magazine.
It's a popular attempt at a kind of popular critical journalism that covers the international arena, looking at human rights, ecology, a lot of popular movements. There's a critique built into the magazine of top-down globalization, and there's an amplifying of the forces of globalization from below. Globalization based on popular movements, globalization based on fair trade, globalization based on solidarity, as opposed to globalization based on hierarchy and exploitation. So that's kind of our take.
Okay.
Interesting.
You're on Lethbridge. We're live on the net from Toronto. You're watching TOTV.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Tony Hall?
Yeah. Hi, Tony.
Hi, Tucker. Okay, here's a question coming.
Anthony Hall himself.
Do you want me to answer that?
Yeah, go ahead and give me an answer.
Okay, well, I think that the role of indie media, well, I won't speak for indie media, I can speak for...
Those guys are totally making history. As I was mentioning earlier, Anthony Hall is running the Globalization Studies course out of the University of Lethbridge, broadcasting live on the net. It's the first ever open source, open network, free, available, interactive internet university course in the world. About 2.5 dozen people from around the world are tuned in to this particular show, which is stated at a later point in time, and it's shown up on the Tucker Tapes archive project. Where am I? I lost my thread. What I'm trying to talk about? Oh yeah, they're making history here. Doing that show, Tucker. So they're broadcasting live out of Lethbridge. They connect with Tucker, who's also broadcasting live out of his apartment in Toronto, and they're connected up for people on the net. But because of the 8-second delay, the conversation that they're having is over the phone, because it's very hard to communicate with one another with an 8-second delay. So just one of the tiny glitches that has to be worked out on the whole. Why does it take so long to load from one video to the other? On the whole live stream broadcast. That was cool. Tucker got a really nice shout out by Elizabeth May. This is years before she was ever elected as leader of the Green Party, or elected to the House of Commons, where she is currently a sitting MP. So that was nice. She was giving him a nice shout out for burning his passport at the climate talks, which took place in The Hague, but she mentions Bonn, if you haven't actually watched this little video. What's up, Otis? Kitty cat meowing in the background. Tape logging in the foreground. I'm going to lose the feed on this screen soon when this tape stops. I assume we will lose that image. There's a boring over here, so I'm going to skip right to the next one. It's not boring, it's just the whole thing. Like, she's got a lot of interesting things to say, but it's not this particular. Here's Tucker with a story.
Tucker Tapes. It is Halloween, as you might be able to tell. A favorite day of Tucker's. He loved to dress up and put wigs on from time to time. It's funny to watch these tapes and see him show up in costume. Follow along below. Ornery students. And of course, Tucker is right up there in their face. And to round it out, I'm going notifications. Tell your friend. Time, money. Can we get the 31st, 2002?
We'll let that count down. You
University
can't see the little
of
countdown
Toronto.
timer in the window.
Might
Over
know some know some folks there. All right, guys, take care.
So I walked into this meeting of the Fraser Institute the other day, wearing my underwear. So I walked into this meeting of the Fraser Institute, wearing my shorts on my head, kind of like a hat. Anyway, I walked into the meeting where we got about half an hour's notice warning that Bjorn Lomborg was in town. Bjorn Lomborg, the skeptical environmentalist. And I figured my name's Gomberg, so Gomberg should meet Lomborg. So I went in there and I was walking around the Fraser Institute. They're all kind of uptight, like these are the power mongers in the country, right? Terence Corcoran, the editor from Financial Post, right-wing editor, was introducing or accepting or something up on the stage with Lomborg, and so there was Lomborg, the skeptical environmentalist. So I videotaped him and managed to get. The nice thing about it was, I mean, it's okay. I like shooting stuff. His ideas were kind of interesting and offensive too. But nice thing about doing a gig like that is at the Royal York, they've got all this food. Like I asked at the end, I said, "Is there any leftover food?" Like everybody had left. Lomborg was gone, and they served me, like I said, any vegetarian meals. I went back and back, came out with this like beautiful plate, and I had about 4 desserts. I hung around, read the newspaper, and ate this great meal. So I recommend that if you're in the neighborhood of the Royal York Hotel in Toronto, it's right opposite the train station, put on some nice clothes, make like you belong, walk into the Canada Room or one of those other banquet rooms, and join in some kind of conference that's undoubtedly going on there, and you can get a free meal. There is such a thing as a free lunch. Trust me, I did it.
What would you do, Tucker, if you had a helicopter?
If I had a helicopter, I'd make a lot of noise. I'd hover over St. Jamestown. I'd really watch over those doper kids. If I had a helicopter, I'd have a real great toy. I'd fly it over protests. I'd watch out on those anarchists. If I had a helicopter, I'd make a lot of noise.
All right. Okay, I'm too good. To put Tucker Gomberg out of the way, I think a round of applause for burning his Canadian passport due to climate change positions in Vaughan.
Hello and welcome to the Tucker Tapes Archive Project. It is October the 27th, 2025. I am Kelly. Very shortly we're going to bring you some clips from the project. We got something from early 2000s, 2 clips from 2000s, and they're both themed around skating. The temperature outside is starting to cool. I thought I might have seen even a snowflake. So why not? It's good a time as any to dive into this. The first bit, and follow along the timer here, that'll tell you when the clips are if you want to just skip ahead. The first clip is Tucker being questioned by indie media journalist David Rubinoff outside of the Smog Summit in downtown Toronto, putting Tucker on the spot, asking him what was with that idea about flooding the streets in the city of Edmonton so we could all skate to work. Any of you Edmontonians remember that from way back in the 90s? Well, we get the straight goods on it. Tucker tells us exactly what happened and what was going on with that. And following that, we've got some footage that Tucker shot at Nathan Phillips Square in downtown Toronto. Looks like some type of skating event, some type of presentation. Professional skaters doing their thing, skating. So if you like skating, you're going to love this episode. First, we got Tucker explaining why it's necessary to imagine different ways of doing things, and then just some beautiful ice skating. So enjoy the show, and if you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. That really helps out, and it helps me out. I don't know if it helps the algorithms, but it certainly makes me feel better, as well as the likes and the comments and sharing and doing all of those things. Tucker Tapes, October 27th, 2025. Please do enjoy, and we'll see you around. Cheers.
Ralph Klein said that you wanted to turn Edmonton into a skating rink. Is that true?
Don't believe everything that Ralph Klein says. Don't believe everything Ralph Klein says.
Well, did you want to do something with ice?
That turned down. And I had my mic turned on, so I'm going to turn that down. Tapes at the end. Ooh, we got some nice fireworks. We got Tooker at this is the Smog Summit. He's talking with David Rubinoff on camera right now. John Backer.
I was suggesting that, in fact, we should be considering, exploring, thinking about how to make cities, how to put in place skating facilities so people can get around in the wintertime by skating. And, on the surface it sounds kind of wacky, but when you think about it, Ottawa, for example, people skate around in Ottawa on the canals in the winter, and you're fast. When you're on skates, there's very little friction. You can really fly, move quickly with very little energy.